ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. As you can see, the draft has started, and here we are, game number 2, Mouse Sports versus Prodota. Here in the Summit 7 European Region Qualifiers. Game number 2, 1-0 lead for Mouse Sports. Definitely sort of gaining traction there in game number 1 and didn't look back, basically. So Prodota trying to come from behind in what is an elimination match once again. The winner of this moves on to play Alliance later on today right now as far as the schedule looks. The loser will be done here in the Summit 7 qualifiers. I'm Bricky CPK, joined by Z-Rock once again. We definitely have a different start here to game number 2. The Wisp into the Ember Spirit coming out for Prodota this time around.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, definitely a different opening.
We got Darkseer Slaughter on the side of Mouse Sports meanwhile.
Sorry, I'm looking at something random here. Yeah, Slaughter first banned a lot in this tournament. Does slip through here, and will be picked up by Mouse. The Darkseer is interesting because we've seen very good Darkseer games, and we've seen very bad ones. This is one of the more traditional openings in Dota. There's a reason they're both banned away. And, I mean, Mouse should be very comfortable with playing this. And it's a very oppressive dual offlane.
Well, Mouse Sports feeling comfortable about their start, and they already have decent lockdown against the likes of somebody like that Ember Spirit, and perhaps catching the Wisp even. With that Slaughter, obviously a good blink early on in the game is going to be at least the idea here for, but assume maybe next time going to be playing it in this case. The 4th ban, though, for Prodota. Interesting initial ban by the... I'm blanking on whether or not they did it the first game, but the tree into Ricky coming out right there. Okay.
Yep.
MNT plays again.
Certain teams seem like they just don't want to play against Ricky and are banning it every game. Yes, it's a target ban in some cases, but in this case, yeah, Prodota has just been banning it a lot in general.
There's Lifestealer coming out with the Disruptor before that, so Static Storm could have been annoying as well, having that Ember Spirit. And
well, it's mostly you don't want to play Wisp into Disruptor. He just throws a field and Static Storm up where the relocate's coming in, and you come in insta-silenced. It's rough.
Even the Glimpse, for that matter. Yeah, very good.
You can break the tether with it and send somebody one back on the relocate too. Yeah, there's a lot of good uses with it. And just way too strong of a counter pick. Now, Mao's opting for the Warlock here. Witch Doctor's been seeing some rise in play again, and it is seen as one of the traditional Wisp counters just because you get a good cask right when you relocate somebody in. But opting for this Warlock again will hopefully see the streak finally broken here. But this is a very solid team fight team. It just seems, again, like they're going to be fairly cooldown reliant, but this time on the side of Mao's instead of Prodota. Oh, no.
However, we do see a Terrorblade coming out for Prodota. Speaking of cooldown, and meta earlier on at least. Well, I guess all throughout is.
All right. Well, what are your thoughts on Terrorblade that you've seen so far? What do you think?
I mean, he's not as cancerous as a Naga, I feel like, by any means, but I don't know. His metaform is ridiculously strong, for sieging towers and for his fighting presence earlier on. But, we keep talking about the idea of the Sunder and how that's great for turnaround and fights. But in these top-tier games, it seems like teams are overall usually pretty good at, keeping him locked down to the point where he's going to die through it anyways, or just keeping him out of the fight even and just focusing on everyone else. So, part of me, wants to say he's almost underwhelming, but at the same time, he's obviously very successful. So, I don't know. That's, I guess, contradictory of itself.
Because, I mean, the way I've seen it and the way I feel about this at this point, we've seen these huge kills where they just get meta at 1 and they run the offlaner down right away at level 1 and it looks super strong. And then they pop off and take a tower at 5-6 minutes. And those are the only games that I see Terrorblade really having a field day. There was a point in time where TB was kind of in inevitability. If you gave him room to farm, he was eventually just going to win the game. He'd get huge, siege you down with illusions that were unkillable. Just this monster hero. And I don't feel like that's the case anymore. I feel like a free farming TB is not nearly as scary as it was a couple of years ago. And I think he's almost you got to get that early game spike on him. You have to have that. We're going to shove some towers early game, not just sit back and farm. And Prodota definitely can do that. They're a team that likes to be aggressive. But that's what I want to see come out of them. I want the support to be another very push-heavy... I mean, Earthshaker, okay, so it's going to give some control. We don't know if this is offlane Shaker or support Shaker. We've seen it both ways. but not quite what I would want to see paired with this Terrorblade.
Yeah. Through the Earthshaker too. I mean, not that I think he's a solid pick here, but at the same time, he's a good counter initiation option in this case. But will he be that, or will he be the one getting countered after he jumps in? Warlock and the Darkseer even himself. Slaughter is ideally perhaps going to be hunting him along with the IO to engage into fight. Lena perhaps as well. So it's good to get that control, but
5 seconds remaining.
I'm looking at Mousesport's lineup, and speaking of control, they got a ton of it across the board.
Yeah, that Slark ban is beautiful. That's exactly what I was going to say from Prodota. It is the most obvious carry pickup right here from Mouz. You can purge off chains. Just pressing Shadow Dance against Terrorblade is insane. Just to stop him from sundering and still being able to put damage into him is massive. So
10 seconds remaining.
good ban out of them. And the carry pool is starting to get pinched a little bit here. We see the Lifestealer, the Slark, and now the Terrorblade being picked up. So a lot of the big premium carries gone.
Reserve time.
And I'm kind of wondering what's left. Without the Earthshaker, I would have said CK is wonderful here. Like, insanely good. But a little devalued between the Earthshaker and then...
Radiant team pick.
Okay, so it's going to be a support shaker, offlane Puck. Is how it's looking here.
Huh.
And we've seen offlane Puck.
Yeah, it's
a mixed success. He's very hard to kill. And considering we're going to probably see Darkseer Slaughter as a duo offlane, Warlock plus a carry is going to have so many problems in zoning a Puck. Juggernaut's the obvious one left in the pool. But I'm wondering if it's not a bit of bait here, because it's very difficult to play Jug into this lineup. Because if you're getting TB close with an Omni Slash, he just sunders you when you're spinning, and he gets a nice easy sunder off. There's a lot of ways for them to get out of everything here. Relocate. Ember Spirit can break pretty much everything Jug does. Puck's hard to kill, so I don't think Jug's a good pick here, but I have a feeling that's what Mouz is going to end up doing.
I almost want to say something like a Faceless would be kind of interesting for Mousesports in this final pick. As you said, perhaps maybe nothing a little traditional because of what the bans are and who they're going up against, but a Faceless Void fits the synergy somewhat of Mousesports, what they got here as far as overall wombo combo, and gives them one that has decent catch as well for something like the Ember Spirit, even catch him in the IO with that tether. So just kind of thinking outside of the box.
I want to see Ursa.
He was another one that I was thinking too, but man, that kite of Prodota seems very annoying for an Ursa.
So much CC though.
Yeah.
You just need something that'll pop somebody on the Chaotic Offering or the Slaughter stun. Couple it with Corrosive Haze. Roche is free past level 6 on Slaughter. And in reality, even the TB's massive armor should be pierceable with Corrosive Haze and Ursa's Fury Swipes.
Well,
like backup options could be like PA would be okay once she gets like 2-3 items.
Thanks.
Wow. That's like the ranged Ursa.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's actually a better pick than the Ursa in my opinion, because the idea that the kite's not nearly as powerful against him. So,
and he's an Orchid buyer, which is insanely good against PD's lineup in general. Ember Spirit, we traditionally don't see BKBs or Mantas usually. Usually their defensive item, if anything, is Lincoln's, which does well into Clinks, but it's usually 3rd or 4th. So if Madara gets a good start, I would imagine we're going to see Deso, probably like Deso Orchid Blink would be my guess. We don't see a lot of Clinks, so I'm not really sure, but that'd be what I would say would be good this game. It gives them a ton of armor penetration. The Orchid is just nuts against Puck, TB, and Ember Spirit, honestly.
Yeah.
10 seconds remaining.
Well,
okay, it's really good against Ember and Puck at all stages of the game. It's only good against TB if you're ahead. If you're behind and you're at TB, he just looks at you funny and right-clicks you, and then you die. But
again, though, it seems like we both agree, though, and obviously that's, I'm sure, what Mouse was thinking, too. They need that follow-up to, sure, they got a lot of AoE lockdown, a lot of initiation, but they wanted, instead of that single-target pick-off artist that could then drop somebody through that Chaotic Offering, or the follow-up to Slaughter, catching said target. And again, Clinks really is a good option for that. So the theme of the draft, you even mentioned last game, you liked the idea of Mousesports as a lineup, and I feel like, at least for me, it's the same thing here. I like across the board what they have, and we do see some odd stuff coming out from Prodota. With that said, too, the offlane Puck even.
If I didn't have giant question marks around TB, I think I would give the edge to Prodota here. but there's just so much lockdown. There's so much control. Yeah, I'm giving a slight edge to mouz, but if TB does anything early game, it could get out of hand really quick.
Oh, here we go. Game number 2. Again, elimination game now for Prodota. Need to win this to force that third and final game.
I don't know if this feels like a 3-3 hero to me either. He likes to play the melee, tanky, gonna run at you kind of heroes. Puck, very much not the case. He's more slippery. He's gonna dodge and disjoint spells, and you got to be careful when you play Puck. You can't get clipped by stuff accidentally because you just die. So we'll have to see if he has the finesse for it. Very, very different play style to stuff like Clockwork or Legion or...
He didn't play Bat Rider last game.
Really, any of the common off players. Yeah, he did play Bat.
But I see what you're saying there.
But Bat, if Bat gets gone on, right, you just start napalming and you Firefly and you kind of just change the situation with what's in front of you. And there's way less... The ease of execution is a lot better for Bat Rider.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to get some damage done and still get a lasso off. And for Puck, if you get caught by an LSA or something, you're just dead. Good luck, Teal.
The one player. Only Teal.
Oh, man.
The rest, screw you.
The battle
Madara, the 9K god.
Pretty good.
9,003 right now.
What do you think about saying just have fun? Like the idea of saying good luck, do you really want to give your opponents good luck, man? I mean, seems like a bad idea.
I mean, right there, it was definitely a we're going to murder you all game kind of good luck. It was like a have fun trying to survive.
Yeah, I guess
there's a little bit of sass behind
twist
it.
on it, yeah.
I just like seeing a little bit of all chat. Good-natured all chat's good for the game.
So Slaughter.
So, all right. Well, yeah, let's talk about these lane matchups here real quick, because Slaughter is just going to hunt this Wisp, who wants about a minute or two in the jungle just to get everything set up, get it established, and really doesn't want to give him that time. Skylark is going to just have a hell of a time here against Garter. It's going to be the freest lane ever. So laning phase is definitely going to favor mouz. Even in the mid lane, Thug pressures so hard. Thug loves to right-click you, loves to spam his skills on you instead of for creeps. So I'm going to give the edge here to mouz in pretty much all 3 lanes, I think.
Bottom lane's going to be interesting down here, though. Again, Puck, he's going to use that illusory orb pretty offensively against the Clinks. I'm sure that's going to continue to come out throughout. But, yeah, man, this Slaughter, he is really making life difficult on Milan. But that's the intention, as you were stating.
Yeah, and Wisp's another one of those heroes with 0 base armor, which makes early game trading impossible.
True.
If the Slaughter right-clicks you twice, you took more damage than 3 or 4 of your own autos.
Yeah. See him running him down right here. And, yeah, Slaughter going the boots first to only just some tree eaters on Hyo with those tangos. So, yeah, it's a brutal start and goes back to, again, mouz making a very great decision in terms of how they wanted to lane things here. Because Slaughter, at the bottom lane, he probably wouldn't be doing really anything. And sure, he could camp mid, but then you're leeching experience off Alina, which she doesn't even really need that. So, makes a lot of sense.
Skylark's so greedy. Ran himself a Soul Ring recipe out while Lina has a Null Talisman sitting in base waiting. Generally, your mid laner gets the courier until it flies. That's the way it goes. But really wanting to keep the pressure up on TV. And enough pressure that he opted not to take Conjure at 3. That's actually not normal. So, gonna have the reflection just to try to keep himself alive if they do decide to go on him.
Well, they're gonna farm up the creeper that they pull behind the tower, though, and almost Axe style right here. That we see with cutting the creep wave.
Yeah, Darkseer's very, very good at that, especially if you don't have a lot of stuns to kill him. And in reality, they have none in this lane. The only real stun right now is Earthshaker, and he's down bottom doing nothing. I mean, getting 3-3 some levels, that's the whole point.
Middle lane, Kaiser. Going to take some nice harassment there, but Kaiser does have his bottle, so be able to heal on up. No first blood just yet, though, as we now approach 3 minutes into this game. And Kaiser will go back and use the Shrine for the time being, but it does seem like, as you're kind of getting at, the 3 lanes perhaps favoring mouz even. And right now, the mouz is definitely showing that with the CS at least, early on in this game.
A stat I'd love to see is how many times Thug forces the enemy mid to shrine before him. He may get caught by this, though. Good Fisher.
Yeah, he's going to wish he had a shrine to use right here. LSA try to save him. It's not going to happen, though.
Nice.
Enchant Totem auto attack. Earthshaker finishes the job. So great catch on Alina. As, yeah, just as you're getting at him, he has a slight advantage here early on, but not so much anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he had a pretty big experience advantage just because of forcing Kaiser to the shrine. But now it's gone. Now they're back to break even, which is a fine position for Ember Spirit. Basically, the mid lane right now, whenever you're going against an Ember Spirit, is dictated by the level of his Flame Guard. If you hit 5 before he hits 5, and you just instantly go on him, the Flame Guard does very little because it's behind the curve. But when they're even like this, it's huge.
Bottom lane, by the way. Midara's going to live this whole time, and actually he will escape. And I got to say, that was such a good escape on their part. They're going to get the turn kill on an Earthshaker. Now 3-3's in trouble as well. He wants to take out Warlock, but he has to be worried about surviving himself now. He's going to stand his ground, pops that waning rip, but it doesn't matter.
So bad.
Midara with those searing arrows gets a double kill out of it, as you're getting at. That's bad. But now Ember Spirit trying to change that. He just runs right in with the searing chains. Good old Haster to pick up.
Buy off. Disaster.
So much for that double kill being so effective.
Look at the courier. Like, these are all Clink's items. If these got to him before that, that
Jeez.
would be so much better. They're all little. He wants to push an advantage.
Meanwhile, Garter gets run down at the top lane. They just dive him with that level 3 Ion Shell and the Crush coming out. It's a lot of damage.
Garter could come back to this lane.
I will say 3-3 made a slight mistake there earlier on. He actually missed his Illusory Orb. And thus missing the damage on a Clinks and what could have been the kill onto him. And then, oh, wow, they really are, aren't they? And they actually had the creep wave, actually.
Soaring. Skylark.
No.
Please. Okay.
He didn't right there, but...
Oh, I was waiting, because if he's soaring Ion Shelled himself as Slardar was crushing, they absolutely get that kill. Garter's not 6 yet, doesn't have Sunder. You can easily run him down. They were probably a little scared of TP rotations from Ember Spirit, because it could have been a double kill. But, yeah, had the possibility there. But instead, 3-3 bottom is going to go right away on Midara again.
There's that upheaval. Level 1 earlier on in the game picked up. Trying to slow down, but yeah, as you're getting at last game, too. I mean, yeah, the level 1 is a little underwhelming. Can't really keep him close enough, so escapes out of it. But Clinks does have those items now, the Ring of Aquila and the Soul Ring recipe on him. But this
I'm just trying to imagine,
down
like,
here.
I'm trying to imagine Spartan in the team house when he's playing something like Warlock. When we see him on a playmaker, we see him yelling and banging on the table and stuff. What does he do? Just like yell every time he shadow words someone to heal him? Madara dusted up the bot and blocked.
Oh, and it's Ember Spirit once again, his good friend. And Ember just walks up and kills Q.
These are huge for Kaiser. He's starting to struggle in the mid lane. Laguna's online, so you're always at risk of dying. And making very, very good use of the map here. The Earthshaker set these up so beautifully for him, and definitely keeping him in this game.
Well, you notice the similarities there with both of those kills at the bottom and with Ember Spirit. He had a rune both times. He got the haste rune initially, and then this time was the Invis rune. Actually helps the setup. Garter, meanwhile, he's been run down again. A double Ion Shell. The Sunder goes off on him maybe next time. Again, a very early Sunder right here, but is it still going to be enough? With IO, it definitely will be. But the fact that he's had to use that this early on, and somebody else, Sunder does get taken out, actually. Now Dark's here, perhaps underestimating the potential of that meta form and how much it does.
Oh no, they want Kaiser, but they're not sure how to get there. Okay. Just going to back off. Yeah, that was some massive miscommunication between Skylark and maybe next time there. Maybe next time just ditched. He let Skylark take the brunt of that TB, and then decided he needed to come back in and try to help, but in reality just fed his own life away. Really not getting anything done there.
Midara.
And that could have been even worse, honestly. Like, the Earthshaker was right there ready with a Fisher.
Midara does have that death pack active. That's enhanced damage.
He should be okay.
God, those searing arrows do so much damage.
Yeah, especially when coupled with a Blightstone. They're physical damage, so the Blightstone's super high value for Clinks. Really just a ton of damage. It's just awkward down bottom. 3-3 has to make a mistake to actually die.
Yeah, they don't have any lockdown. It's just
like this, like orbing in. That would be the example of a potential mistake.
He has support though, and
does he?
He did have support though. Whoops.
Oh man, just deleted.
tower.
And it's all in the back of the ruin, or the ward they have placed. Look how defensive this ward is next to their tower.
Yeah. It's got the good vision and obviously helped to spot the Wisp right there in a pretty awkward spot. I mean, they also had Ember Spirit coming in. They clearly wanted to make a play, but as soon as Ember Spirit dies, or excuse me, Io dies, then not so much. Top tower's being pressured this whole time by mouz, meanwhile, and Darkseer will eventually get the tower kill. You have Terrorblade. Where is Terrorblade? He's actually in the jungle over here.
Yeah,
okay.
it's the jungle. When Skylark got the lead he got in the lane, there's just no way for TB to lane this. You have to have Shaker there to even survive. So just gonna ditch, go jungle, give up the T1. That means when a wave pushes to his T2, you can try to do something. Ember and Milan, Ember and Wisp here clearing out these massive stacks. Wisp built a huge army in the jungle for Ember to pick up.
3-3, talk about mistakes. Well, that was kind of a mistake right there. He's going to barely survive because of the magic wand, but maybe next time he's running him down. Loser Erup's coming up right now. The face shift with the timing. Great job by maybe next time with the cancel initially.
Yeah, that was great. I thought he was dead for sure on 3-3 there, but he got the orb off and waited before the phase shift. That was a mind game that maybe next time just definitely won.
Yeah, and I suggested a mistake because yes, he gets the call Warlock, but he really committed for that kill, and clearly there was the backup there. With him porting in with the illusory orb was the biggest mistake, I feel like. So
Warlock has 300 net worth, and we're 10 minutes into this game. Spartan doesn't even have boots. He has a ward in his inventory and 250 gold.
He has chaotic offering though, man. That's what
He
matters.
does. He can press R.
This hero's really all about the level 6. That's like the key. You can have nothing on you, and I think it's just fine.
Yeah, they definitely want to just dark pack something, grab Warlock, ult somebody, and then use the Golem to take a tier 1.
Yeah.
We saw the struggle from PD last game in doing that. They can't make the same mistake on mouz. You just need one pick off and take the tower.
Oh,
does he want the courier?
Courier snipe.
Yeah,
1, 2. See ya.
Has been killed.
Blinks sees one of these heroes. That's something else to look out for. Middle lane, meanwhile, Ember Spirit. Nope. Just simply going to be harassed there by Slaughter. There's a lot of support nearby. It's a good thing they didn't commit. Well, that could have been a turn of sorts, especially with the haste rune.
Fail? Okay, no, not quite. Yeah, Ember, after that huge stack, was getting very, very close to Veil. I thought he'd have it by now, but still slightly short. Really needs to get that. That's a huge damage boost for basically his entire team.
Well, it's going to be even slightly more delayed because of the courier kill, actually. So
nothing about it was on the courier, though. So
yeah,
that's the chaotic offering, though. And they missed the LSA.
Oh, missed the combo in full, and he's able to survive as a result.
Dire structures are fortified.
Yeah. Misjudging that.
I mean, that's borderline inexcusable there. He's stunned by a chaotic offering. Maybe you were just scared that he was going to remnant out too fast and you were trying to cast it at max range, but that's unfortunate. Skylark's now going to get coiled up in top.
He got stunned initially as a result. He breaks the tether immediately, but with that surge trying to get the distance and the port out, good call by Skylark. Realizing they used all they had at that time. So he escapes death, and yeah, I mean, the chaotic offering at least helps to push the middle lane, so it wasn't the most useless by any means, but yeah,
they took a tower and didn't lose anything from it, which is something that's definitely not to be thrown away. And if you look, the net worths are heavily favoring mouz right now. They're up almost 5,000, 5,500 gold, 12 minutes in, and it's all from lane advantages. They took 2 early towers. They have CS leads. They're just crushing pretty much every lane.
Yeah, they're down in hero kills. It's 6-5 Prodota, yet they're winning by 5,400 net worth, as you pointed out there. So that should definitely be telling of something. That mouz is in a very good spot as you're getting at this, really just winning all 3 of the lanes once again. So Madara, Clinks, he's going to get that earlier on Dragonlance, of course, so pretty typical stuff, too. The idea is that extra range is so beneficial for the hero for guaranteeing those picks, and yeah, the Orchid comes to mind as you're stressing, too. And I also know the idea of even the medallion into Solar Crest. Wow, I totally blanked on the name there. Solar Crest is potentially an item that he could go for as well. Really damage.
We used to see Clinks just go first item, just the medallion, and hold off on the Solar Crest, just because it is such a massive damage spike for Clinks to have that extra minus armor. But that kind of faded away once Blightstone became part of medallion. It became one of those things. You grab the Blightstone, it was so value that you just didn't really need to finish out the medallion yet. But yeah, we'll have to see. It's definitely got some potential this game. There's a lot of magic damage on PD though. So I'm not sure if he wants to go that heavily into the offensive side of things.
Earthshaker, he was simply trying to just run up here and get some vision down. Well, he got the vision down. Unfortunately, he dies, and so does the ward immediately. Happened to place it right next to a sentry, so that's just all across the board. Horrible news for the Earthshaker there, but life moves on. For him soon, at least. 3 more seconds. And he'll be back. Ember Spirit again has that veil, as we talked about.
All right, I don't think Madara is going to go Orchid. So in his talent tree, the first talent choice is either 10% MR or it's Int. And the only justification I can see to take the Int is if you don't want to go Orchid and you think you're going to have mana problems. Because if you're going to go on Orchid, you have enough mana regen that it's never an issue.
And this is a decent Magic team for sure. I mean, they got 3 different heroes that are going to be doing a fair amount. In fact, Ember Spirit, one of them, and he is able to run it out in time. But there's a lot of just that upfront damage as we see. Now, a team for that is considered to have a lot of lockdown. They were not able to lock him down long enough, though. Right there. To be fair, without, obviously, Chaotic Offering is part of that. It's hard to commit to that in a case like that. And Vacuum's not necessarily the greatest against an Ember Spirit, so maybe it's a little deceiving. Alina wasn't here in the end. Now, Dreamcoil, they want this kill on Slaughter. He's going to go in for it with the Remnant, the Searing Chains, but not enough, actually. He's going to stay alive for the time being. He will eventually go down. Laguna plays snap in the background, trying to take out Earthshaker. Lina eventually will do so. Chaotic Offering finally comes down. I saw him cancel it a couple times. He will use it in the end, though. Isle on top of Garter with that mana form. The Warlock gets picked off, and now you see Madara is trying to find a target here. All they got was the Earthshaker so far, but maybe now Kaiser could be in some trouble. They're chasing down Thug. Thug is currently out of mana. He does have a regen bottled up, but it's hard to use when all this damage is coming out. He's going to get off a decent time right here. To use it right here.
Kaiser going to get out?
And now Kaiser.
The LSA missed.
He missed the LSA again. He was trying to go blind somewhat. And unfortunately did not connect. Puck, meanwhile, will get caught by the Crush, and I'm sure they're going to kill Puck, actually.
Still level 10, only has level 1 phase shift, so not able to really use the phase shift to stall for the blink cooldown. Had to try to just guess when Thug was going to stun, and slightly misguesses it here.
They're running in. Echo Slam. They really want this kill on Madara, but at what cost? Down goes Earthshaker. Ember Spirit, he is not really in the danger spot because they get the kill on Madara in the end, and now he's looking to chase even more. Fatal Bonds are up, and maybe next time he's on the run. Lina, however, just got that Bloodstone, already has a charge. You do see the upheaval slow a little bit there on a Kaiser, but the Vacuum's going to be out of range, actually. And now Skylark, yeah, he has to get back because the Vacuum's on cooldown. And he does not have his wall. And now Slaughter overcommitted. So both sides constantly going back and forth. How is this fight still going on?
It's going to keep going, too.
Apparently, Laguna wow, that was a Flame Guard up, so it did really nothing. Almost tickled him, basically. And now Lina's going to end up falling. They do kill Io, but now Skylark is also pretty deep in here. Spartan's being run down by the Ember Spirit meanwhile, so the game of chasing now is out of Sunder. Yes, it was.
Yes,
Used on to Skylark right there, and Skylark is going to get picked off by the Waning Rift. Now down here, Warlock manages to survive as Madara. This is how long this fight's been. He's resurrected. He's back up. He's good to go, and now doing some damage to Kaiser. Doesn't have a Revenant, actually, but it's not going to be enough damage. And finally, I think we're done with this fight, man.
Chaotic back and forth, like crazy. And we definitely see PD get the edge there. They were able to fight more often. They were able to fight a little quicker pace. And without the Chaotic Offering, it was just a little difficult for mouz to manage to secure wins after the initial rock. I will say the Slardar, maybe next time, was hiding up in those trees at the top right of the T2, and his blink was just about off cooldown. He wanted to suicide blink in on the Wisp and then try to sprint away. And couldn't quite get it off. It was so close.
Yeah. Well.
These are the games I love, though, man. They're so bloody. They're all back and forth.
I'm all for it. All that combat, and Klink's definitely a hero that entices that. In fact, now he's going to have that Desolator just about finished. So he was doing already decent damage, but that much more. Now, as we kind of saw, again, he's a little fragile of sorts, and so he has to be careful. And maybe something like a BKB eventually would be useful.
What's your guess here on? Okay, so Lina just hit 15. Took the respawn time again. I was wondering this game if it would be different. You have more minus armor than last game by a long shot. Between Corrosive Haze, Desolator up on Clinks. I was wondering if the 50 damage wouldn't look more enticing, but wanting to keep that, that respawn time super low, and basically mirroring the same build from last game. I was actually going to point out after that team fight, I think it screamed how much Thug needs a blink. Like, how many LSAs did he miss because he was trying to cast them at max range and they just ran away slightly? And if he got a blink and could reposition in these team fights to hit better stuns, it could be an entirely different game.
Something else to keep in mind, too, this is all without the blink on Earthshaker. He has 1,300 gold saved up, so he's working towards it, but didn't have it just yet. Meanwhile, Garter, he's got the early Dragon Lance, and now he's working on the Yasha into the Manta, but a big fight bottom lane brewing. Chaotic Offering is ready. They're charging in. Nice fissure to block out initially, but Slaughter, he's hunting the Ember Spirit, and he's going to TP away in time, it looks like.
Yeah, they're switching. They got vision on Garter now. Needs to get reload out by Milan. Somebody should be on the back here trying to stop Milan from the relocate.
Yeah, they are. They're going to cut him off, and, well, there you go. That'll stop it. They take him out. LSA, oh, it missed again, but at least the crush
maybe next
through.
time is covering Thug so much in these team fights. Thug is just looking so off in this game. It's a total difference from game 1.
Yeah. It's, I mean, a couple of these LSAs, I mean, that was somewhat blind once again, I feel like, but he's just like happening to barely miss several different times. Obviously, we saw the middle where they tried to follow up on the Ember Spirit after the Chaotic Offering, and that was a little off for sure.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Well, the idea of the blink, I've kind of brought that up before, but I guess it's what was the counter argument is that the cast animation of LSA just takes so long. That's like even if you blink in and go for the LSA, the enemy should be able to react by the time you're doing it. So, is it really worth it at that point?
In theory, that makes sense. But if you look at who he's trying to go on in these team fights, wants to be able to get a guaranteed stun on Terrorblade or on Wisp. Neither of them really have quick movement skills, and would be potential targets that the Blink LSA can make a connection on. And right now, with him not having any repositioning items, he's forced to just go on who's in front of him. And a lot of times that's people like the Ember Spirit or the Puck, and he's having trouble hitting stuns.
Speaking of Puck, by the way, did get that earlier blink, of course, the Hand of Midas, and now actually has Power Treads as well, so Puck is developing pretty nicely. And, yeah, I mentioned the Blink Dagger, and now Earthshaker's trying to finish his, but meanwhile, they do Roshan pretty quickly, and Clinks will pick up the Aegis now. So, yes, he is squishy, but this time he has a second life, and he is getting that BKB as we talked about, too. Follow up now, so very, very good item here. I mean, again, it's a lot of magic lockdown here of sorts on PD. It's going to allow him to be very mobile now. Not be as scared in these fights here. And
yeah, it's just to give him time. Right now he's struggling to find time to beat on stuff. He just wants to be in the back lines, trying to shotgun down the Puck, the Wisp, the Shaker. He has his blink now if he buys it. He needs to get a bot in case he die here.
A lot of blinks coming out here. Yeah, the Ember's picking it up. Earthshaker's going to get his, as mentioned, so this is going to turn into a very, very jump-heavy game if it's not been already. Another Death Pact to use here. Is there a specific creep that comes to mind that Clinks really is trying to Death Pact on?
Whatever has the most HP. I mean, that's all it does. It takes a percentage of their HP. So, Ursa's, I believe, are the highest ones. It's like Ursa's or Centaurs.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think of which of the neutrals then.
Tower is under attack.
Yeah, it's one of those two. I'm not sure which one.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Well, they're going to push the secondary middle tower. And then with the ease, and remember they have the Aegis as well, so that's a nice extra pushing presence.
This is one thing you have to be aware of. If you're mouz, you have pushing advantage for sure. If you can ever get in a position where you're racing, you're in very good shape. Unless TB has full images and meta up, you're going to just win every tower race.
I was going to say, right now at least. Later on, that could be a different story, but right now.
Strafe does a lot of damage. It's like as much as meta.
Yeah, that's true, actually. He is very good at sieging, isn't he? Well, they're going to try to really harass him out here. Popping the Conjure Image, the reflections, but it's not going to be scared. Wow, those orbs from Milan right there actually doing plenty of damage, but Shadow Word heal up. And Madara's still feeling confident. Again, he has that Aegis, so worst case, he dies. He's going to be coming right back up. Prodota, the case of they don't want to commit too much to just simply use the Aegis. So it's that game of chicken here. They have tier 3. I almost feel like they should fall back and just go for shrines right away.
The problem is you have Chaotic Offering up, so you're feeling like you're in an okay position, and if you're forcing all of PD into their base, it means they're not farming.
God, that upheaval. It's a level 4 now.
There's the go.
There we go. They're going to go. Skylark goes in. The wall follow-up. Io's going to be picked off right off the bat. Here comes the Chaotic Offering. They do catch Puck, but the phase shift coming out of it. He will lose her away, though, and be fine. Range Drax goes down right there. Another melee is falling. Echo Slam only on the solo Lina, though, but if they kill it, it's probably worth it. Warlock gets picked up in the backlines as well, and everybody's dead except the Darkseer. Come back up from Lina, though, she resurrects quickly, and Klink scores back up with the A, just getting TP out in time. Yes, the Enchant Totem was just a half a second too late, so he gets out, and that's how it will end. So they do get the ranged racks, but yeah, they didn't even get the melee, so I don't know about that.
So the Aegis was getting fairly close to timing out. Acceptable to use it there, but you still ended up losing 3 for a ranged Rax. And really, Kaiser came up huge. Got a 3 Remnant Bomb with a Veil on 3 heroes. And just destroyed the Aegis, killed off 2 more. That was a huge play from him. Also, BKB, though, fresh up on Klinks. Oh. Getting another courier? Oh, yeah. That's 3 this game.
Is that the 3rd one? Yeah. Jeez. Oh, what's down here, actually? They're going to engage down here. They relocate coming out. Skylark puts on the Iron Shell, but maybe next time going to get picked off. And it's playing the run game now for mouz, it seems like. He's going to go TP out on Warlock. Darkseer gets caught initially, and the Fissure to follow, and that will secure him in the end. So down he goes. Madara sitting at a distance. That new BKB, as we just mentioned, is picked up. But he's not going to go by himself, of course. And that's going to transition nicely into a middle tier 2 tower push right here. There for Prodota. So good relocate. Lina gets caught, actually, but the Yules throws it on herself, and even a Glimmer Cape assistance from the Warlock here. And they'll prevent the tier 2 middle lane from going down, actually. So good pressure, though, put on by Prodota even. And they are finally now going to retreat.
If all that mouz had lost there was maybe next time, that's fine. You traded the meta out essentially just for the Slaughter's life, which wouldn't have been a big deal. Darkseer getting caught, though, allowed them to put a lot of pressure on that tier 2. But with these shrines open now, like, mouz could look to take these at any point. You know meta's down now for another 50 seconds. They want to take a fight, though. They want this mid-rax.
And they want to kill a Terrorblade. That Yules, however. And the Laguna Blade is going to come out and secure the kill, but yeah, that was a little awkward, as mentioned. The Crush only hitting the 1 target because, but...
Yeah, and it's all because Thug Yules them. Like, Yules the Wisp. That was just
best communication right there, but they're going to get Earthshaker, and that's a good pick off as well. Buybacks are had, though. Slaughter, he goes down. There's one on to Io. Coming out. Skylark gets running away before he gets killed by the Terrorblade. Kaiser's going deep. He is pretty low on the mana pool side of things, but he still has more remnants to use, and Warlock is in trouble. Chaotic offering in 1 second, though. Is he going to turn around and maybe look to use it right here? No, because the teammates are all falling back. Warlock cannot TP out, however, and he will go down.
This is so good for mouz.
You think? Okay.
They got mid-rax. Which is huge. It's a melee rax. Madara sat there just hitting it, BKB'd, and then just ghost walked and ran away. Milan was a little bit tunnel vision and getting back to his team and trying to collect the extra kills coming out of that, and didn't dust Klinks. They could have easily made a pivot and killed Klinks instead of Spartan. But yeah, just a little bit of tunnel vision gave Madara all the room in the world just to grab that rax and get out. That was 2 buybacks out of PD too.
Yeah.
So when you factor that in, it was almost an even fight. Yeah, it was Wisp
you're right.
and Earthshaker, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even notice the Earthshaker, but yeah, looking back, you're all right. That's now 6 minutes.
That's wonderful for mouz. This is like everything they could have dreamt of in that push. And they still have Chaotic Offering.
Yep, just coming off there. Like I said, I was going to be curious if he used it, but at that point, it was already retreating, so no point. Saves it, dies, but has it ready now for the next fight, as pointed out. Klinks. Interesting if he ends up going for this, but he has a Scythe queued up. As far as his next item, over the Orchid. Why that?
I mean, in reality, Scythe's just the more team fight, like team help tool. You know TB's going to be going BKB eventually. Has it queued up right now about halfway there, a little over halfway. So it's just another way to...
They're going to reload. I was going to say they need a lot more of this. A block of the fish, though, despite the BKB. And oh, yes, it is going to be enough damage for the kill. But now they lose. They will lose Isle. That is Gardner. He has a Sunder, though, and he is going to get it off on a Thug right there as he got low himself. So he's back up to near full. And this Chaotic Offering coming in late, unfortunately, is not going to do a whole lot for mouz.
800 range Sunder. What the f...
That was long. What is the range supposed to be? Is it not?
It's like 400. It's
okay.
It's definitely short. But it's one of those things, if you start the cast, it's going to finish. So he got the cast off. Thug was just super fast from the Fiery Soul stacks.
Yeah.
Radiant's top tower
I mean,
top tower.
That's unfortunate to get Madara picked. But no, it's just so you have an initiation that goes through BKB. They're kind of lacking that right now unless they Chaotic Offering just the 1 target. So gives you a way to try to go on TB once the BKB comes online, and stops the squishier targets from getting out. Like Ember and Puck, there's no way for them to do anything if they're hexed.
Well, again, he has the ultimate orb, so he's not 100% committed to it, but it's probably going to be that at this rate. With what he has queued up, at least bottom lane, Kaiser. He's getting back before trying to the crush. It's going to miss, and Remnant's away, so he'll be fine. Clinks is hunting, looking for a free pick. There's a couple of heroes that come to mind. But
so maybe next time did opt for a medallion, but Skylar control. Oh yeah.
Dream Kogan human place. Madara is here. The vacuum not enough though. Not going to give the chance for an open for Clinks.
So I was just saying, Slaughter is not going to finish Solar Crust out. He ended up going for a full Force Staff after the Solar, or after the Medallion. A little interesting. I figured he'd just go Solar and you throw it on whoever TB's focusing, whether that's Lena or Clinks. But yeah, once the extra repositioning from Force Staff, they're finding that people are just barely getting out from PD. They're backing up and TPing before Thug can stun, and once the extra reach on Crush.
Earthshaker building a Shadow Blade now. Like seeing that. Means not only more initiation, but some potential pretty heavy burst, actually.
Yeah, and then he goes Fatalist.
Oh, yeah. You know it's coming. Or should. Thug, he's trying to get himself out of here.
Well, Thug was looking for someone, and never quite found them.
Yeah, so figures that it's lost cause hanging around, might as well go elsewhere. And credit to PD as well with these relocate ganks. They've actually been doing pretty good with those. We saw at the top lane kill Clicks most recently, but a couple of times throughout they've been managing pretty well.
Yeah, this is like second level Wisp play, right? You're using the relocates to assist in ganks and pull people out to safety. I want to see a third tier play though from him, where you grab someone in a team fight and use the ult to reposition. Like you grab TB and you move him into the backline. That's where I see the real Wisp plays that are what can make and break an entire game. And there's definitely the potential for this. You grab Meta Garter and dump him on top of Thug, and now that this BKB is online, it could be devastating.
Again, 1-0 lead to see at the top here, guys, in favor of Mouse Sports, but best of 3. Prodota trying to force that third game in this elimination.
And they're not in a
match.
bad position. I mean, they're actually in an okay spot here.
Oh, yeah.
This Mouse lineup is more early game scaling, and with Lena taking the respawn talent, is not going to be a huge right-clicking force.
Yeah, no, that kind of goes back to that. Not even in hindsight necessarily. I was thinking the same thing. I'm just still not sold on just getting this minus, especially if you get that Bloodstone so quickly. Like, take the 50 damage, man. That's a lot of damage you're missing out on. But
yeah,
she did choose to get the respawn.
I just feel like they already have an insane frontline this game. You've got a super tanky Darkseer. You've got maybe next time kiting in and out of fights, just causing chaos. I feel like you could have gone a little more glass this game on the Lena. Last game it was very good. The Bat Rider was forcing single target initiations.
Blade could be in some trouble. He's being spotted by Madara this whole time. They are going to open right here. Here comes across the page, and that damage of Madara is real. The Chaotic Offering, that was unnecessary. I guess
you're just happy you killed TB. I guess he doesn't have buyback. Not that they'll know this, but with the Aegis up, they'll probably look to go top or go bot.
I mean, that was a Spartan saying, "There's no way he's here by himself. Like we're going to have a fight. Let me just use this in case." So obviously he was there by himself eventually, and they had the kill. But yeah, just better to be safe than sorry. Now they will not have that presence, unfortunately. But yeah, as he said, he doesn't have a buyback, and he's dead for 20 seconds.
I missed Milan's relocate in that fight. I didn't see where it went, but it is on cooldown, so that was used at some point.
I'm not sure, actually, but Chaotic Offering is going to help Siege as well, so it's another use of it.
It should be Rax. TB's still not quite up. They might lose one on the back line here.
God, you see that upheaval. As soon as Ember Spirit tries to get in, he's just moving so slowly right there. Madara has a BKB as well as an Aegis, but Puck not going to risk it. And they will get out in time. So just like that, a Terrorblade kill transitions into a free set of racks there for Mouse.
3-3's not going to find anyone on this. Madara is the only one close by, and they don't have any detection.
And he has a Scythe almost finished now.
It's going to make whoever goes first on the side of PD super vulnerable. If Puck blinks into Coil, that is a tongue twister. You can just snap hex him, and all he's going to get off is the Coil. If it's Ember coming in, you have the chance to just hex him right after the bombs and blow him up. So mouz, I mean, really they pushed what they got off that TB pick so far. You end up getting a tier 3 and a melee axe off just one pick off. Like Garter has to have buyback. There's not really an excuse for that at this point.
Especially if you're going to be that far up by yourself there just farming away. So, yeah, definitely cost them, and that's another set of racks. And, again, these next tier items being picked up now. Klinks has the Scythe. Lena actually chose to get the Maelstrom, so she is going to go full on Mjolnir, even more reason as where that 50 damage would have been nice to have. But it's, beating a dead horse at this point.
It just hit the point that you're a mid laner. You got your 2 caster items in the Bloodstone and Mules. Now you just build a little more balanced. You still have to do some damage.
Yeah.
I like this better than the old build where you see where they go like Ag's Refresher and try to just double Laguna and delete people. This is a more well-rounded build. They still have 2 minutes on the Aegis though on the side of mouz. I'm curious if they're going to use it. Chaotic Offering's almost back up. Could look to just try to close the game out top with this Aegis still.
Puck's heading around bottom lane. He does have that Ags. So, idea of piercing the BKBs here, which I guess is technically only Klinks.
Lena.
Luna does? Oh, yeah, Luna does have hers. You're right. It is a full 10 seconds here, so that makes even more sense then. As to why he has it here. And they're definitely trying to find them right now. Earthshaker doesn't have the Shadow Blade in, just the Shadow Amulet used there initially, but they are going to get a great catch on an Ember Spirit, and he's going to survive. Are you kidding me? He's actually going to live. Yes, okay, the bonds will finally not kill him, though.
Ember's still alive, though. They need one more hit on the puck.
Oh, finally they get him. Jeez. Took forever. 3-3 going to be locked down. That bash coming through for Slaughter. Double kill for Thug. Dear God.
No buybacks. That's game. This is over.
Very likely. You see
like,
bottom
ignore
lane.
Garter. Go in the game.
Look, he's trying to go against the backdoor protection. Like, that's not going to work, man. Like, this is a lost cause. Yeah. GG's called, and that's it. It will be a victory for mouz, and they're going to take the series 2-0 here as they knock out Prodota of the Summit 7 qualifier. So, Prodota, no doubt, again, they've been an impressive team and one with this new roster onto the scene, and obviously there's other events that they're in and still doing well in, but their journey's going to end here at least for Summit 7. But mouz will be your final team in the playoffs, and our playoffs are now officially set to continue on later today, Z-Rock.
That they are. First game coming up is going to be the big game of the day. I think everyone in chat should be excited for it. Yeah. Empire Na'Vi. It's coming up here in about an hour, and man, I'm super stoked for this. Empire crushed the groups. But we saw some flashes of brilliance out of Na'Vi yesterday. I'm hoping we can see a little more today.
Our other one's pretty good, too, to be fair. Alliance mouz Sports is set to happen later on, too. So that, too, should be good. But I do agree with you. If you had to pick one, you definitely wanted to watch Empire Na'Vi is no doubt a fun one. And, again, Na'Vi, they've really – things have been kind of connecting for them lately, I feel like. This, picking up Seneko, replacing Armen there, and – just since Kiev here, clearly they've been practicing quite a bit, and they've been looking pretty impressive. So yes, Empire also a strong team, but hey, it should make for a great series there. And like you said, it's set to happen in about an hour from now at 10 a.m. Eastern, what is 1600 Central European time. But that means we are going to be on a little bit of a break here for about an hour. In fact, I think what the plan is going to be, we are going to shut down the stream here because there's a chance, in fact...
We're moving to the big leagues?
Moving to the big leagues here. Is the stream still on beyond the summit, is the question. Checking right now. It looks like there is still action over there. Okay, yeah, there's the China region qualifier still happening. So,
yeah, it's what, Newbie IG?
Yeah, and it might just be starting even. So maybe not. So we are going to shut down the stream. We're going to possibly be back up over there if that finishes in time, but at this rate it doesn't look like it, so maybe we are going to be back here on this stream. But obviously pay attention to social media, if anything, but yeah, it looks like if I had to guess, we'd be back on BTS 2 for that coverage there. Z-Rock, we get a break here?
Alrighty.
All right, let's do it. Let's go to break. So, ladies and gentlemen, mouz Sports 2-0. Again, moving on to the playoffs here. In fact, I do got this fancy image. Might as well show it. That's wrong. Why did it not update? It's almost right. You can kind of figure out what it's supposed to be, of course. But in fact, why didn't it? Oh, that's why. I see what I did wrong. There we go. Now it should update. Okay, so yeah, Empire Navi and Alliance Mouse Sports. And so the playoffs are set, like I said. Now, it resets in the sense, too, that's now a new double elimination here. This is the final bracket, and one of these 4 teams going to be going to the $100,000 land that is the Summit 7. Having a lot of fun down there in good old sunny Southern California, Los Angeles, at the BTS house. Well, it's going to be fun to see how things progress forward. Again, with action today into the weekend. By Sunday, we'll know the champion, but today we got the 2 initial matches, Empire Navi and Alliance Mouse Sports. So sit tight, guys. A lot of Dota to obviously enjoy in the meantime, but we'll be back in about an hour from now. Until then, guys,